We are finally back. We're finally back here on Small Ball. It's so exciting to be back. This is the last, or rather, the first show that we are having live since the announcement that Major League Baseball season would be postponed. So once that news broke, um, I had to give some thought to what I was going to do and how I was going to conduct these shows. And it took me some time, but I think I figured it out. And I'm going to post a little bit on the Small Ball Instagram and stuff like that to notify you guys about how this is going to work. But essentially, it's going to be a lot more immersive. It's going to be a lot more, audience driven. We're going to have a lot of debates. We're going to have a lot of trivia games where you guys can win prizes and things like that. So more on that later, and more on today's specific schedule also later. First, I want to just kind of get back into the flow of things. You, first of all, can see that I am in a different environment because of what's going on in the world. I'm actually living in a different house than I was during our last show. So maybe the audio is not great, maybe, whatever. So just let me know in the comments if there's any sort of issues with that. And we'll go from there. So just to jump back in, yesterday, of course, was Jackie Robinson Day. I wanted to do a show on Jackie Robinson Day, but wasn't able to. But obviously, a very important day in not only the history of Major League Baseball, but the history of the United States of America. A little bit more on this later. I'm going to do sort of like a breakdown of who I think are the most influential baseball players of all time. And obviously, Jackie Robinson is going to make an appearance on that list. But I just wanted to address that, before we get going. And acknowledge that yesterday was obviously no baseball games to celebrate it. Generally, it's a pretty nice, cool thing to have, everybody wearing 42 and everybody sort of, talking about Jackie Robinson and his legacy. So it's a little bit of a different Jackie Robinson Day than we're accustomed to, but nonetheless, still a momentous occasion. I'm going to notify the world before we get going. And while I do that, I'm going to give you guys the breakdown for how today's show is going to work. The audio in this room sounds like really weird. I feel like, comment down below if you think that I need to change something up and if you guys can't hear me or whatever. But from my vantage point, it sounds like there's a lot of echo and it sounds really weird. So let me know about that as I notify the world. And also as I notify the world, like I said, here's what's going to happen today. I have two guests coming on the show. Generally speaking, the schedule is going to change a lot, but the clearest picture I can give you right now is I'm going to talk for a little bit about some stuff that I want to talk about. We're going to have some trivia games thrown in there, and like I said, debates as well. So today, I'm going to talk for 5 minutes after this intro is done about a topic that came to my mind earlier today. And then we are going to have our guests come on. We have two guests who are going to debate a topic. And then when they're done debating that topic, they are going to play our first Small Ball Show trivia game. Now, before I forgot to start notifying the world, so I'm going to do that too. But before we begin with any of that stuff, I want to make something clear. I'm introducing this new thing called Small Ball Points. And essentially what that is you can accumulate points over time. And we'll keep a running standings list of how many points people have, right? And when you accumulate a certain number of points, you get a prize. Whatever that is, I'm not entirely sure. It could be merchandise. It could be, I don't know yet. It's going to be, most likely, merchandise is going to play a role in that. So if you accumulate X number of points, you get a prize. And you accumulate those points by appearing on the show, by winning trivia games and things like that. That will become more clear as we go. So I just wanted to get that out of the way. More on that in a second when I introduce today's trivia game, but I'm not going to do that right now. So we live just got to notify the world. Bang, bang on the Small Ball Instagram story. So perfect. Like I said, I am going to give you guys like a 5-minute breakdown of something that came into my mind yesterday. So, obviously, baseball's not being played right now, right? And there's been a lot of talk about like what's the best strategy moving forward. And a lot of people understand that it's it's seemingly becoming likely that there's going to be some baseball played this year, which is obviously good news. It seems like the chances of there being fans in the crowd for those games is low. Now, there's been like this running argument that I've been hearing about: is it worth it to play baseball games without fans? And I can't really speak much to the impact that has on the teams financially, their employees, the cities, financially. I don't have all of that information. I'm not, an expert on, the finances of major league franchises. But for those arguing for and against that topic, of the viewer, the customer, there is no argument that would convince me that it's not worth it to play baseball games this year, regardless of who is in the crowd. Baseball, especially, is a game predicated on skill, technique, mechanics, and technical prowess. I feel like sports like basketball, football, and hockey, in some circumstances, are largely predicated on emotion and momentum and excitement, which baseball is not. While there is, of course, excitement implicit in the game itself, the game is not founded on exuberant cheering and noise, if you will, right? So, in my opinion, and that's really, I'm just going to leave it at that. There's not really much more for me to say, but to those who think that playing baseball games without a crowd and just having a silent, silent fan base, coming from, because if there is any opportunity for us to watch live baseball this year, I think we should absolutely jump on. And they've come up with these new ideas. Maybe they're going to mic up players and have some more dialogue and things of that nature. But whatever the case may be, even if we literally just have to mute our TVs because there's no sound, no audio whatsoever, there's got to be live baseball at some point this year in the crowd. So that's all I got on that. But obviously there's more to come on what's going on, and I'm gonna try to talk about current states of teams and do more predictions and stuff like that. But it's really difficult when we don't know what's going on, and obviously, so we'll go from there on that front. But I want to get right into our guests. I want to get them on. And because I want to leave a lot of time for the trivia game because I don't know exactly how long it's going to take. So I'm going to get them on right now. And of course, drop a like, drop a sub, hit that notifications button if you haven't yet, and let the world know that we're on. If anyone is curious, obviously the more viewers, the better. It'll be nice and fun. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to get our viewers on. Hopefully, I think I'm going to open a window because hopefully that'll improve the audio a little bit. One of the comments said that it was all right, but we'll see. Anyway, so I believe, if I'm not mistaken, that our guests today are currently, actually that made the audio worse, so I'm going to change that. Are currently on the phone with us here at Small Ball. Dylan and Matt, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Pretty good. I'm excited to be back. We have two guests here, Matthew Geiling and Dylan Challenger, both from New York, here on the show. They both appeared on the show before, so that is also exciting to have recurring viewers. Now, the topic of discussion for today is one that we have addressed in the past here on Small Ball. We haven't really debated it. I just kind of gave my brief opinion on it. We're going to do one debate topic today, and then we're going to get into this cool trivia game that I have planned. So the question that I have for you two is, between the American League East and the National League East, which division do you think is the tougher division to navigate? So if I'm building a team called Team A, and I had to get placed into that division for this season and this season only, which one would be more difficult to navigate? I'm going to have Matthew go first because he is appearing first on my caller list. So Matthew, your thoughts, please.
So I think that the is without a doubt hard to navigate in the AL East. The reason I say that is simply because the NL East has much more depth than the AL East does. So obviously the Yankees are one of the best teams in the league, and if you would put the Yankees in the NL East, I think the Yankees would be the best team. But I think that it's a lot harder to navigate. I think it's easier to navigate around one superpower team per division than navigate around the four teams in the NL East that are competitive. Because in the AL East, we have the Yankees and the Rangers, who are both competitive teams. But then we have teams like Orioles, Blue Jays, Red Sox, who the Blue Jays have potential and they could be good in the next few years. But right now, those teams are very bad. And both the Orioles and the Blue Jays finished under 70 last season. So I think that it's harder to go against a team that has a division that has teams like the Braves, the Nationals, and the Phillies, who are all at least competitive, than going against a division with one and like half, let's say, super teams.
I got it. Cool. Not bad. I'm going to give my thoughts as well, but Dylan, I'd like to hear your response, please.
All right. Well, I think we both agree that the Yankees are the best team at both of those divisions. So that means if you're still a franchise, automatically, you're probably not going to win in the AL. So your best shot is now the White. Well, in the NL East, the Nationals are at 93 wins, which is less. I also think that Marlins and the Orioles are both pretty bad. So I'm going to equate those two teams. And the Phillies and the Mets are both just like mediocre teams. Well, the Blue Jays, the Red Sox are a very strong offensive team. They were very injured last season, so I'd say this season some of their key pitchers get up and not get injured as much. They Christmas had a similar.
Interesting.
But the Blue Jays.
Oh. I think we're having some technical. I didn't catch that last part. Say that one more time, that last part. Dylan?
About the Blue Jays?
Yeah.
All right. Well, I was just saying the Blue Jays are a younger team, and the more advanced they get, like last in the second half, 500 team, they're pretty much on a roll. So this season, I kind of pick up where they left off and be like a 500 team again.
Cool. Yeah. No, I mean, from my perspective, I mean, I don't really have a clear answer, and I'm not really going to give one. Maybe we'll come back to this another day, but I do think it's a good point that just having that best team at the top almost sort of determines that you're not going to win that division. But I do think the Braves have a legitimate shot to win more regular season games, or at least close to that, than the Yankees. I definitely think the Yankees are the most talented team, but various factors such as injuries, I think age in some cases, and I think honestly management a little bit might hold the Yankees back a little bit in the regular season. You guys all know that I picked the Yankees to win the World Series this year, and of course the NL East is deeper, but the thing about the AL East to me is that there's a lot of teams that are really unpredictable right now. I think between the Blue Jays, the Red Sox, and even the Rays to a certain extent, those are three teams that I think could range from 70 to 90 wins, honestly. I mean, those are three really unpredictable teams. So I think a lot of it is predicated on that. I don't have a clear answer, like I said, but I think both of those are really, really strong, strong points that you guys made. If you guys have anything else to say about that, go ahead. But I just wanted to do a little taste of this debate. So just wrap up your statements if you have anything to say. If not, we'll just get rolling with our next segment.
Yeah, I just want to quickly say, I think that Dylan compared the Mets and the Phillies, said they were mediocre teams, and the Red Sox and the Blue Jays, but I think that the Phillies, just like to point that, like the Phillies have much more. I think that the Phillies should do much better next year than like the Blue Jays will. Even like with signing Bryce Harper, he had a bad year this year, but like the Phillies still almost got 20 more wins than the Blue Jays did last year. And yes, the Blue Jays have potential, and like Bo Bichette, Vladimir Guerrero Jr., but I think that you can't dismiss the Phillies as a mediocre team and say the Blue Jays like are on the up. I feel like both the Phillies and the Mets right now are in. While Tristan, your point's right that the Red Sox and the Rays are very unpredictable. I think that the Mets and the Phillies, that duo, is significantly stronger than the Red Sox and the Blue Jays.
Yeah, that's a fair point. Dylan, you have anything to wrap up?
Yeah. What I would also say is, if you're trying to make the playoffs, I've only managed like the best 2 or 3 teams in your division. So I think we can both agree that the Yankees.
Well, that's not necessarily true. That's not necessarily true, Dylan, because we're talking about the hardest division to play in. The Yankees can feed off of the Blue Jays and the Orioles. Not to use like a 4-night term, but they can feed off the Blue Jays and the Orioles or the Red Sox. The Red Sox a little bit less, but like the Mets, when they're playing division games, really only the Marlins are like an easy victory. Not really the Mets, the Braves, but really only the Marlins are an easy victory. When they're playing the Mets and Nationals and Phillies, they still like it's still very cool. It can still go either way, which I think is important to keep in mind.
I also think it's important to factor in how injured the AL was this season. Like the Yankees were very injured, and they still, put up 103 wins without, and they also added Garrett Cole, which is
the Yankees, whether they're injured or not, they're still one of the best teams in the league. They still are the
Red Sox also. Red Sox their offense got better than the seat that they won the World Series. They just didn't have Chris Sale, and Rick Porcello didn't perform well. Nathan Eovaldi was injured, so they're kind of their team too. But like fully healthy, their team is the same as it was in 2018. I honestly expect this season they're to be at least a 90-win team.
So I see what you're saying there, but I think that the unpredictability is something that's apparent in both leagues, but different types of unpredictability. The Yankees, the AL East is extremely injury prone, but the NL East has players like Bryce Harper. He didn't have a great season last year for the amount of money that he's getting paid, but he has the potential to completely change what's going on in Philadelphia. So if Bryce Harper goes crazy this year, which he honestly could very well, he could have another MVP season, and the Phillies could be a 90-plus win team as well. I think there's a lot of factors a lot of what-if things that go into both of these leagues.
Yeah, totally. I think.
I just think.
Go ahead.
The teams in the AL East are just trending. They're trending upwards. Well, the Nationals, they lost their best hitter. The Mets, lost Wheeler. While the Rays and the Red Sox, the Yankees picked up Cole. They're going to get healthier. The Red Sox and Rays are going to get healthier. They're going to have Tyler Glass now. I think they're just much better, and they're trending upward.
I honestly think both divisions are trending upwards too. I think the Braves were a great team last year, but I think that, like Tristan said, Braves have potential to, they just got Marcell Ozuna. They have potential to really be a superpower team, and I think the Phillies also have that potential. I think the Nationals. I think that the Phillies also have potential to be a 90-plus win team. Bryce Harper plays well because all these the Mets had 4 teams who I think could really be 90-plus win teams. Not the Mets.
All right. I also don't think that Bryce Harper had that bad of a season.
He didn't have that bad of a season. But he didn't have an MVP season that he was. He got paid a lot of money, but we know he has the potential to have an MVP season.
I mean, we also know people like Stanton have the ability to do that, and people like Chris Sale.
They do.
Fine. They just didn't play at all. At least the Phillies had. At least he played. He hit 35 home runs, drove in 114. At least he contributed to that. That's true.
Good stuff. We're probably going to actually bring this topic back and address it. Maybe I'll post a forum thing on the channel and see what everybody else thinks. But I think that was a very successful debate. Some really good points were made. I really don't know. I think what's interesting to me, especially about Harper, is this spring training, the limited spring training that we had this year, I haven't really seen in quite some time since that 2015 MVP season. We're definitely going to revisit this topic for sure, but I want to move on. So thank you guys so much for that. That was really, really a lot of fun. And we're going to, right now, not the best, sort of technical circumstances that we could have right now. I'm going to switch up some of the real quick audio. I'm going to try to make this audio a little better. And while I do that, I'm going to introduce this trivia game. So we're just gonna go with it. I don't know how this is gonna work. Hopefully it worked well. But how it's gonna work basically is these two that we just had debating each other are going to they're gonna be against each other. They're competing. Perfect. Here we go. They're going to be competing with each other, and they're going to square off for. So if you could just add Dylan to the call, that would be great.
Yeah.
They're going to square off, and the winner of their square off is going to advance to the elimination round. Okay. Cool. And how this basically is going to work, and I'll explain the elimination round after I get through the regular round, is there's going to be 4 categories with 4 questions each, worth respectively 1, 2, 3, and 4 points. The more difficult the question, the more points it's worth. They're going to alternate picking which question they want to answer. Now, if they get it correct, they get that number of points. If they get it incorrect, their opponent can answer correctly and steal that number of points, answer incorrectly and lose 1 point, or pass and stay the same. One caveat to the selection process is that they have to, so there's going to be 8 questions answered for each of them, and they have to pick each number of question twice. So they have to do 2 number 1 questions, 2 number 2 questions, 2 number 3 questions, and 2 number 4 questions. That's going to be a little bit complicated, but I'll try to simplify it as we go. It's the first time I'm doing this, so I have no idea if it's going to work properly, but hopefully you guys can bear with me. At the end, whoever has totaled the most points is the winner of that showdown, They then move on to the elimination round, where they answer a difficult, probably level 4 to level 4.5 question from each one of the 4 categories. If they answer all 4 correct, they win a prize, which today is a small ball t-shirt. So they're playing for the small ball t-shirt. Even if they aren't able to come up with all 4 correct responses, they are each going to get 1 small ball point for appearing on today's show, and they are going to get 1 small ball point for every elimination question they answer correctly. That was a little bit complicated, especially for those of you who weren't with us when I described what that means, but more on that later. Not that relevant right now. But I want to get into this because it could take longer than I anticipate. Hopefully, we're done within the hour, but if we go over a little bit, hopefully we'll be having some fun doing so. So, to start off, does one of you want to go first? There's really no advantage to going first, but if not, I'll just randomly pick someone.
Dylan, go first.
All right, Dylan can go first. Perfect. So Dylan, hopefully you understand the guidelines of this game. I know it's not, it's a little bit confusing, and I kind of ran through that quickly. But your job now is to pick, and I'm going to give you the categories. I want you to pick 1, 2, 3, or 4 from the category that we're starting with. Now, if you pick 1, it's worth 1 point, but it's the easiest question. If you pick 4, it's worth 4 points, most difficult question. And we'll go. It'll become clearer as we go. So the 4 categories, and you can write these down if you want, just so that you can remember, because strategically, you want to sort of pick the harder questions for the the categories that you know better, and then use your number 1s and 2s on the categories that you know not as well. So here are the 4 categories. I recommend writing them down so that you can keep track of them. We have moments. Oh, and by the way, this is all trivia from the past 5 years only. So 2015 to this point in 2020, both of our viewers are, not the oldest of folk. So I thought, and they thought that recent trivia would be better. So anyway, let's get into this trivia game. Should be fun. I call it categories. So here we go. The categories are moments. So that is moments that occurred in Major League Baseball games, whether that be a milestone or an exciting play or whatever the case may be, a moment in a baseball game that you're going to have to answer a question about. Second category is league leaders. So that's statistically driven. It's about, league leaders in different stats and just being familiar with statistics primarily. The third category is name the player. So that is essentially being familiar with the current MLB rosters. So, basically it's mostly naming the player that is the X position on X team and things like that. And then the final category is team facts. So it's fun facts about different teams that don't have a lot to do with, in-game sort of trivia, but more about the teams themselves. And that'll become more clear as we go. So Dylan, I know you're new to this, but so am I. So let's just get right into it. Matt, I'm actually going to let you pick the first category of the 4 that we start with, and then Dylan will pick his question. So do you want to start with moments, league leaders, name the player, or team facts?
Let's go with league leaders.
League leaders it is. So again, to my viewers, I apologize for the limited, technical sort of environment that I have prepared for you guys. I know you can't see the game and you can't see our viewers. I know that's not ideal, but given the circumstances and my lack of technological prowess, there's going to be a little bit of growing pains with the technical side of things as we continue with small ball. But the content is what is important. So Matt has elected to start with league leaders, and Dylan, I'd like you to pick. Would you like question 1, 2, 3, or 4? And keep in mind that you need to total 2 of each valued question. So if you pick 1, for example, in this category, you only have one number 1 question remaining.
Alright. I'm gonna pick question 3, I think.
Okay. Here's the question, Dylan. And I'm gonna try to keep track of this as we go. So if I'm like not entirely focused, bear with me. The question is, the Nationals, Washington Nationals, are of course in the National League, which does not have a designated hitter. But which player served as their designated hitter in all 4 road games during the 2019 World Series against the Houston Astros?
I'm going to say it's gonna say Howie Kendrick.
Howie Kendrick is correct. So 3 points for Mr. Dylan Challenger. A good start. A very good start for Dylan. Very nice work. Now, Matt, we're going to continue. Okay. According to MLB.com, who is currently the first baseman for the San Diego Padres?
This is league leaders.
I'm really sorry. That is my bad. I was asking you the name the player questions. So my bad. We're going to start with name the player. I apologize.
Okay. Eric Hosmer.
That is correct. Eric Hosmer is the first baseman for the San Diego Padres. Excellent. So, Dylan, 1 or 4 from you?
I'll go 4.
Okay. According to MLB.com, who is currently the closer for the Chicago White Sox?
What happens if I don't know an answer?
You don't lose any points for getting it wrong, so there's no harm in guessing.
All right.
And if you get it wrong, then Matt can steal it or pass.
I'm gonna say.
I need an answer.
Rodon.
Say that one more time.
Carlos Rodon.
That is incorrect. And I did forget to mention that there are 20 seconds allotted for each question. So we'll keep timer as as we go. So that is incorrect. Matt, you have the ability to steal for 4 points or pass and stay at 0. If you get it wrong, you will lose 1 point.
I passed. That's a hard question.
All right.
But wait, Christian, what's the score right now?
The score is Dylan 3, Matt 2.
Okay.
Yeah. So Matt will pass. The correct answer is Alex Colomé is the closer of the Chicago White Sox. So obviously you guys have somewhat of an ability to Google these answers, but I'm hoping based on the honor system that you don't. All right, and that leaves the number 1 question for Matt, which is this. According to MLB.com, the 2020 third baseman for the Minnesota Twins played last year for the Atlanta Braves, but was signed to a free agent contract this offseason. Who is that player? The third baseman.
Josh Donaldson.
Josh Donaldson is correct. So after round 1, we are conveniently tied at 3 apiece. So a very tight matchup so far. Awesome. So I apologize for doing the wrong topic first. Matt, I'll let you choose the next topic. Would you like to do league leaders next, or would you like to pick a new one?
No, let's do team facts.
Sounds like a plan. So I will have Matt. You can go first this round to select 1, 2, 3, or 4. And to remind our viewers, Dylan and Matt are currently tied at 3 apiece. Go ahead, Matt.
I'm going to do 3.
3. Okay. In the 2019 regular season, which team had the highest total attendance?
Jeez. I'm going to say the LA Dodgers.
That is correct. Matt with a 3-pointer. The Los Angeles Dodgers had the highest attendance, actually the only team to eclipse a total of 3 million fans. So Matt adds a 3 spot to his score and is now in the lead 6-3. Dylan, it is your turn to select a question. Please, viewers, if you can't hear me and stuff like that, please let me know. Hopefully you guys are getting good audio and things of that nature. So, Dylan, your selection.
I'll pick number 2.
Number 2. Which team, and you have 20 seconds to answer, has the most letters in its nickname? I.e., like the Reds would be the nickname of the Cincinnati Reds.
I'm gonna say
10 seconds.
The Diamondbacks.
That is correct. The Diamondbacks have the longest nickname. Kind of a silly question, but nonetheless, a 2-pointer for Dylan. Matt is in the lead 6-5. Matt, 1 or 4 from you?
I'm gonna go with 4.
4. Okay. In 2019, 4 teams played a regular season game outside of the United States. Who were they?
Okay, so I'm pretty sure it was the Mariners were 1.
Okay.
Other one, I'm gonna say the Indians because I remember Lindor played somewhere.
Okay.
The next one, maybe the Rays.
Okay.
And then the Indians play. I think I'm gonna say the Athletics.
Okay. That answer is incorrect. Dylan, would you like to steal or pass?
Can you repeat the question?
Yes. In 2019, 4 teams played in a regular season game outside of the United States. Who were they?
I'm gonna say the Yankees, Red Sox, A's, and Mariners.
That is correct. Dylan steals the 4-point question from Matt to add to his total and take the lead 9-6. So the A's and the Mariners played a 2-game series in Japan to actually open the Major League season, and the Yankees and Red Sox played a 2-game series in London in the middle of the season.
Brooklyn in the Dominican Republic.
Not that I am aware.
I think the Twins may have played the Indians, but still the Rays didn't play out of the United States, so it doesn't really matter.
I'm gonna just Google for clarification purposes. So the Twins and Tigers are scheduled to play in the Dominican Republic in 2020.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So that did not happen last season. So anyway, moving on. Dylan, that leaves you with the 1-point question, which is in team facts. The same team has both the closest left field foul pole to home plate and the closest right field foul pole to home plate in their home stadium. What team is it?
I'm gonna say the Houston Astros.
That is incorrect. Matt, would you like to steal?
No, I'm good.
Okay, the correct answer is the Boston Red Sox, who have the closest left field foul pole at 310 feet and the closest right field foul pole at 308 feet. So that'll wrap it up for team facts. So Dylan with a clutch steal now leads Matt 9-6. So still a pretty close game. Dylan, you can pick the next category between moments and league leaders.
I'm gonna pick moments.
All right, and you also have the first selection.
I'll pick a
Number one. Okay. In 2016, that sounded weird. In 2016, the Cubs won the World Series, and in that series, they beat which team?
The Cleveland Indians.
That is correct. The Cleveland Indians. So another point for Dylan. He adds to his total and now leads 10-6. Matt, down by 4. What is your selection?
I'll pick number 3.
Number 3. Okay. In Game 5 of the 2015 American League Division Series, Jose Bautista hit a game-winning 3-run home run off of what Rangers relief pitcher?
Ooh. I have no idea. I don't even know any Rangers pitchers. I'm just gonna say, for the memes, Jacob deGrom.
That is incorrect. Dylan, would you like to steal or pass?
I'd like to pass.
You would like to pass. Okay, so that leaves our score at 10-6. The correct answer is Sam Dyson, who is now a member of the San Francisco Giants. So that gives Dylan the next selection, still up 10-6.
I'm gonna pick moments 2.
2. Okay. In 2019, the Washington Nationals beat the Houston Astros in the World Series. What pitcher threw the final pitch of the 2019 season?
I'm gonna say Doolittle.
That is incorrect. Matt, would you like to steal or pass? A good guess, but incorrect.
I'll pass.
You will pass. The correct answer was actually not Sean Doolittle, but Daniel Hudson, who assumed the closing role midway through the 2019 postseason. So still locked and loaded at 10-6, and now Matt is actually left with the 4-point question, with a correct answer he could tie the game. So Matt, the 4-point question is a tough one, but here it is. In 2016, Ichiro Suzuki recorded his 3,000th Major League Baseball hit against which National League team?
Ooh, I feel like it. Is National League team?
Yes.
Nats.
That is incorrect. Dylan, would you like to pass or steal?
I would like to pass.
Okay. The correct answer is the Colorado Rockies. He did it with a triple in Coors Field. So coming into the final round, Dylan is ahead 10-6, and Matt has the first selection trailing by 4. League leaders is the final topic. Matt, go ahead.
I will take. I will take number 3.
Number 3. Okay. In 2019, the Texas Rangers, had 2 starting pitchers that finished top 10 in ERA. Name one of them.
Oh, I think I know this. It's the guy who spiked his. Mike Minor.
That is correct, Mike Minor. And for bonus points worth 0 points, can you name the other?
No, I wouldn't already. The only reason I know Mike Minor is because I remember he missed a pop fly or something to get 300 strikeouts. And there's a big debate.
Interesting.
Lance Lynn.
Lance Lynn is correct. Yes, that is the other answer. But Matt did get that question correct, so he improves his score to 9 and trails Dylan now by 1. Dylan, your turn to pick 1, 2, or 4 of league leaders.
I'm gonna pick. I'm gonna pick 2. Yeah,
Actually,
number 2.
you know what? Give me 1 second because, okay, you picked 2. Okay. Question number 2. Who led the American League in home runs in 2019?
Definitely not anyone on the Yankees. Let's see. I'm gonna say, Soler.
Jorge Soler is the correct response. Jorge Soler led the American League in home runs with 48. So good guess. And Dylan takes a commanding 12-9 lead. And with questions 1 and 4 remaining, I assume, Matt, you would like to go for the 4-point question. You do not have to. What seems like the best strategy?
How much is he up by?
He is up by 3, 12-9.
Okay, wait. If I go for the 1, he has to still answer the 4, right?
Correct.
If he gets it wrong, I can still steal it, right?
That is correct, yes.
Okay, so wait.
Not a bad strategy, actually. I did not
if I
think
get
about
the
that.
4 wrong, and he goes. Yeah, I'm gonna go for the 1.
Okay, interesting strategy. In 2017, Aaron Judge led the American League in home runs.
Mhm.
Which of his current teammates led the National League in that same season?
John Hudson.
That is correct. So it is now 12-10. That question actually did not affect anything because Dylan is now up by 2 rather than 1. So the only chance Matt has is to steal this question from Dylan, but if he gets it correct, he clinches a spot in the elimination round. And Dylan, the 4-point question, here we go. It's a tough one, but here we go nonetheless. Which player has led the major leagues in assists in 3 of the last 4 seasons? And the hint that I will give you is that it's a shortstop because shortstops always lead the league in assists.
I'm gonna say Francisco Lindor.
That is incorrect, which gives Matt an opportunity to steal the game from Dylan. Matt, do you have an answer as to who led the league in assists 3 of the last 4 years?
I'm gonna go with I'm gonna go with Javi Baez.
That is incorrect. Matt is unable to come up with the steal, and thus Dylan will be advancing to the elimination round. Oh man, what a game. What a barn burner up here on the first ever edition of Categories on Small Ball. A really excellent performance, Matt, but unfortunately, Dylan will be advancing to the elimination round. You do go home with 1 small ball point, which you can use later on in the series. But congratulations to both of you on a really strong performance. The correct answer, and if you have watched this show before, you might have actually been able to make an educated guess because I have talked about his defensive prowess on numerous occasions, but it is the shortstop for the Oakland Athletics, Marcus Semien, who actually led the league in assists in 2016, 2018, and 2019, 3 of the last 4 years. So a very exciting finish, but Dylan will be advancing to the next round. And Matt, stick around because Dylan has the opportunity, if he would like, to phone a friend, which is you, on one of the 4 questions that he has to get right to win the prize. So, Dylan, are you ready?
Yes, I am.
So you have to answer a question from each of the 4 categories to win the prize. If you answer all 4 correctly, you win a small ball t-shirt. If you answer any of them incorrectly, you do not win the prize, but you do get 1 small ball point for every correct answer. And I will let you choose which topic you would like to answer first. Moments, league leaders, name the player, or team facts.
Moments.
Moments, okay. In 2017, the Dodgers lost the World Series to the Houston Astros when Corey Seager grounded out to which Astros infielder?
Jose Altuve.
That is correct. So 1 point for Dylan on the board. What would you like to answer next? League leaders, name the player, or team facts?
I'm going to say name the player.
Name the player. Okay. According to MLB.com, who is currently the center fielder for the San Francisco Giants?
It's either Billy Hamilton or Mike Yastrzemski. I'm gonna say Mike Yastrzemski.
Say that one more time. I couldn't hear you.
Mike Yastrzemski.
That is in fact correct, and Billy Hamilton is in fact the second string center fielder. So that is an excellent guess. What would you like to answer next? Team fact, you can. Who led the major leagues in stolen bases in 2019?
Was it Ronald Acuna Jr.?
Unfortunately, it was not. That is incorrect. It was the Seattle Mariners center fielder Mallex Smith. So unfortunately, you are no longer eligible to win the grand prize. But a very, very good performance from you today. Very, very pleased with both of you guys. And you can answer the fourth question to get your third, or your fourth, actually, small ball point for today's show. And that is team facts. And that is in 2019, which team had the lowest average age among their hitters, their position players? So essentially, who had the youngest position players in 2019?
I think it's probably either the Yankees or White Sox. I'm gonna guess the White Sox.
That is incorrect. It's actually the Toronto Blue Jays. So 2 out of 4 questions answered correctly. Very, very close. And both of you guys had a really, really strong performance and a really exciting finish in the first ever edition of I forgot the name of it, categories on small ball. So thank you guys so much for participating. I'm very pleased with how today went. The timing actually worked perfectly because we're just approaching an hour. So thank you guys so much. Matt, you're going to receive 1 small ball point, and Dylan, you're going to receive 3. So again, thank you guys so much for coming on the show today. It was a lot of fun. I welcome you guys back whenever you want. I have a bunch of people waiting to be on the show, but if you guys or any of you guys, the audience or whatever, would like to make an appearance, please either DM the Small Ball Instagram or put a comment on the channel to let me know that you're interested in making an appearance. And we're going to do more of these trivia games, more of these debates, and I'm going to say a little, a couple things as well. Again, thank you so much to Matt Geiling and Dylan Challenger for appearing today on the first ever edition of Small Ball Trivia. It was a lot of fun. I hope you guys enjoyed yourself. You guys, as well as the audience, please drop some feedback, of what you thought about today's show. If you enjoyed it, if you had some fun. Hopefully, obviously, there's not a lot to talk about right now in Major League Baseball, so hopefully this can give you a pretty entertaining and also instructive show every Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, and Thursday. That schedule might change. The daily schedule might change, but for now, we're going to be rolling with something like this. So hopefully you guys enjoyed. Thank you guys again so much for being with me. Any final words you want to say before we close the show, Matt or Dylan?
Thank you. That was a lot of fun. It was great.
Cool. Again, I welcome you, both of you, back. Just because you've been on today doesn't mean that you have to, or that you can't, rather, appear again. Maybe even a rematch of this particular battle, this rivalry. But again, it was a lot of fun. So thank you guys so much for appearing. I'll see you guys later, and I will see you guys later on our next edition of Small Ball, which is scheduled to be Sunday, but honestly, who knows? I might just, feel like doing one tomorrow or Saturday, and I will, and maybe Sunday doesn't work out, so we shall see. But again, thank you so much for tuning in. Drop a like, sub, notifications button, recommend to your friends, and please have a good, fun, and safe weekend. And I'll see you guys most likely on Sunday. Thank you for tuning in. Peace.